And how has the journey been so far? Starting out, I think from IIT Delhi.
इंडिया में बच्चा है तो इंजीनियर बनता है, डॉक्टर बनता है पहले. तो आई वाज द इंजीनियर कैटेगरी.
So if we were to turn back time, how you would do things differently?
There are two advice I would like to give myself. So all advice is autobiographical in nature. So just take it with a pinch of salt. Like this is advice I'm giving to myself. The first thing is that
How do one take advantage of whatever operational capability one can leverage?
one thing I say in the age of AI that you need to have is that you have to have good taste.
Hey guys, today we have Tushar Tuteja with us, who is a graduate from IIT Delhi and he's a co-founder of his newest venture called Atlabs.ai, and they're revolutionizing how AI video editing is done. He has been the founding members of Coding Ninja and he has also led being a tech lead at Paisa Bazaar. Tushar, would you like to tell more about Atlabs and Ninja?
So Atlabs is a video creation and editing platform where businesses come to tell their stories in a better way through videos. It's a very intuitive platform where you can generate videos in 2 minutes, like from ideation to creation to distribution to analytics, everything all in one place, and all of your tools brought together. That you don't need to go to like different tools to generate your audio, generate your images, and go to an editor. So it does the editing for you, it does the creation for you. So it makes video production fun. We call it like pro level videos in 2 minutes. So that's what Atlabs is. If you have a video story or a video communication that you want to put across, you can use Atlabs.
And how has the journey been so far? Starting out, I think from IIT Delhi to...
इंडिया में बच्चा है तो इंजीनियर बनता है, डॉक्टर बनता है पहले. So I was the engineer category. So I went to IIT Delhi. I did civil engineering there. I was enjoying civil engineering for a bit of the time, but I think I was more interested in entrepreneurship. So we started out a small tech company. I already knew coding, so I got my first job as a coder in Times Internet. Then I started my own company called AdCouch, which was a food delivery app for cinema halls. Didn't work out. Then I built Coding Ninjas. I was the founding member of Coding Ninjas.
Right.
It's a technical boot camp. And then I went to Paisa Bazaar. I was the head of AI and labs. Did a bunch of experiments in AI and labs. And then I briefly, from like engineering side of building things, how to build things, I went towards what to build. I went into product management. I did like product for almost 2.5, 3 years before I moved back and started doing something of my own. Initially, I moved to crypto when I was doing something I was doing a consultancy job trying to de-anonymize the whole crypto world. And then I took a 1-month break after 10 years of intense working gigs one after the other. And in that 1 month, while I was relaxing, I started that YouTube channel called Bharat Ke Kisse, from where the journey of Atlabs started.
Tushar, you have seen a lot of industries. You have worked in food tech, ed tech, fintech, then moved to Web3 and now generative AI. So if we were to turn back time, how you would do things differently?
There are two advice I would like to give myself. So all advice is autobiographical in nature. So just take it with a pinch of salt. Like this is advice I'm giving to myself. The first thing is that at times we think at the end of, like when you are building your own company, you are going to hit walls a lot of time. That, what should I do next? Like I've hit a wall, I've reached the end of something. Like when we were doing AdCouch, the food delivery app, we were building a food delivery system for cinema halls. Just like this is 2015, and just last month, I think PVR sent me a notification that they have started delivering on the seats finally after 9 years. So when we were building that startup, it was very cutting edge startup. Like we installed Bluetooth beacons inside cinema halls to detect people inside, that you are inside, and you can use cash on delivery to order food. This is a time then there was no Paytm wallet, and then people didn't use credit card that much on their apps. So this happened back in 2015, and we realized after building 4-5 months that we are up against an oligopoly. That there are only 4 big players: PVR, Inox, Cinepolis, and I think there was one more. And no one wanted to give a cut of their profits. And if you are in entrepreneurship and you are not hitting walls every month, you are doing something wrong. So that's like you have to be like a little more imaginative, creative in life. Is there something that I can do? Don't think like that. There must be something that I can do. So I need to find that something. And there will always be something. Trust me on it.
Interesting. And how do you find that something if we are still blinded by what we see?
Like the general framework for me for doing things is, okay, in any point of time I would say, okay, these are my resources, these things is what I have, this is the strengths that I have. Now, if I have to combine, school mein we used to I never understood, there was this competition called best out of waste, कि घर से कूड़ा लेके, मतलब कूड़ा तो नहीं, like वो लेके आओ जो use नहीं हो रहा, and try to make something nice out of it. So entrepreneurship is about that only. You're trying to make best out of the resources you have. So just think of, what resources you have, what are your advantages, what are your weak points, what are, resources you have, and then you try to work.
In order for all of us as entrepreneurs, if we have to succeed, these fundamental resources do play a humongous role. So, इनको attract कैसे करें? Like, for example, people, capital. How do you attract these things? Like, what is the formula? What is the framework that everybody who is starting from scratch or who is doing 1 crore in their business, how do they attract the resources?
I read it somewhere that the bottleneck to human development is not capital. And then everything can be traced back to capital. Like if you need people, if you have capital, you will have people. If you need something, if you have capital, you will have that thing. So the bottleneck to human development is not capital. It is faith. So you need to have like immense faith in yourself to the point where you can push things forward. So if you have faith that something will work and you can make that thing work, you will automatically attract the right kind of capital, right kind of people, and right kind of, environment and all to build those things out.
So we have so much tech and tech stack lying around. How do you think a person who is starting out can leverage that today? And how if you had that tech in your time, how would you kind of take advantage of that?
I think the benefit of starting out today is that, we have the power of so many, like we have GPT, Chat GPT live. Yeah. We can just talk to it for hours. Like even today, I talk to GPT for 2 hours every day. Okay, how do I solve this problem? How do I understand this thing? Like what is SEO? I want to understand what is SEO. You ask the right questions, it will give you the right answers. So learning has become very easier. So whatever you want to learn, it has become easier. And then the first draft to anything has become very easy. If you are learning how to code, if you're coding, it's very easy to code these days because, I want to do this and I'm facing this error. You just type this out and will tell you, okay, this is how you solve it. You try it out. You keep doing this. So you have this permanent person who is with you all the time, which has a compressed knowledge of the whole world to help you out. Mm-hmm. It's now up to you if you are asking the right questions, if you are moving in the right direction or not. So you have to figure out, okay, what is if you are like motivated enough in your life to do something today, I don't think there has been a better
time yet.
With GPT in the like palm of your hands. You have this permanent person who can help you out. Don't do negative experiments like in life. Like don't,
build a TNT bomb out of Chat GPT.
Negative experiment would be like concentrated H2SO4 में पानी मत डालो, आग लगेगी. But try to figure out if you can do something positive experiments. Do that. You can learn at a very rapid rate.
Right. And in the world we are in, where it's so easy to reach out to anybody and communicate sense, still a lot of people still don't have that courage or faith in themselves that they take the leap. They want to start up, they want to, start their own business, start their own startup. So how do these people...
How do you muster the courage?
Muster the courage, yes.
Start small.
Start small.
The only, you can do bigger things in life if you're doing smaller things in life. To figure out, you have to keep doing things to get the courage. It's all about repetition and confidence. I was a very shy guy who didn't talk to anyone. Now I can, blabber out words for hours and hours to a random stranger also. Yeah. But it all accumulated over last, I would say, 15, 16 years. You have to start small. Start by doing little things you can do. And then obviously those things will add on to, build up the courage.
So sir, abhi, at Atlabs, what is the difference you are trying to make on the world?
As I told, we want people to communicate better. AI is not good with creative content as of now. For Mr. Beast ki creativity, Mr. Beast ke paas hi hai.
Bilkul.
ठीक है. For cognitive content, you can create that with AI. If I want to know, what is the circumference of Earth and how much time would it take for me to walk from one end to the other. All of these things live in cognitive content, which are factual. which is history, which is easier to, which doesn't change, which doesn't have creativity. So we want to help with cognitive content through videos. Like it should be easier, visual, aid your content with visuals, with sound effects, with music, with captions, with engaging elements, with B-rolls or whatever the technical terms are. So we're trying to build a platform where you can use your existing content and convert them into pro-level videos with a lot of engaging elements,
Right.
which gets your that gets your message across.
And in Atlabs, or like as general in generative AI, how do one take advantage of whatever operational capability one can leverage?
One thing I say in the age of AI that you need to have is that you have to have good taste. Now you have the power that can generate 100 poems in 1 second. It can generate 100 paragraphs in 1 second. It can generate 100 images in 1 second. So if you have good taste, if you can identify new ideas, obviously, see, any AI is just a compression of the existing world there has already been, and it tries to create some ideas. And if you can leverage that, if you have good taste, you can leverage those ideas. Okay, I want a new symbol for a coin. Just ask it. I'm building a new app and I have a coin in my app and I want a new symbol for it. I don't have any ideas. You can just ask AI, okay, generate 10 coin images that I can use as an app. Oh, no, do it in vector style. Oh, no, do it in, some other style. Make it more, use, instead, even though you're drawing a coin, use dollars to draw a coin. Use Benjamins to draw your coin. So you can do all of those things. You can generate ideas. And if you have good taste, you will identify, oh, this is amazing. Now you can tweak it, or you can take some reference from it and you can do something of your own.
I also think taste is something as entrepreneurs we all need, because in the time we exist, the noise that all of us face, we need to reflect, or we need to show what kind of taste that the brand or the individual has to attract the audience they want to attract.
Yeah, definitely you need to have your own voice and brand. Otherwise, you need to know why you exist. Otherwise, it won't work. Like, why does Atlabs exist? We need to be very clear of it. Like, we exist because it's very easy to make videos suddenly.
Yeah.
Which was not possible. Like, I had a lot of companies that we serve, they could not spend $1,000 to make a video. Now they can do it in $10.
Right. And coming to making videos, how have you managed to build this? How did you find the right people or hire the right resources? How did you make the entire thing happen into a functionable thing? And I think we spoke 6-8 months back. You actually got a traction from a viral reel. Yeah, so how did you hit that spot, the traction point?
Okay, so there are two questions. How did I attract people, the right people?
Yeah.
My past 13-14 year journey was doing that, figure out,
attracting
the right people. I would say I'm kind of a human resource person that, I know this person is a good person to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I figured out, okay, these are the people I can work with when I, either if I have to get a job or if I have to offer a job, in both ways.
Right.
If it's two-way, then I know these are good people and I want to take help from them in building it, because they are doing me a favor by helping me build my startup.
Yeah.
It's not that I am doing some favor to it. So I've built the relationships over the past 13-14 years that these people will come out to help me to build something of my own. And then the second part is how did we got traction. So what we were doing in December was, this is 4-6 months back, we made a new channel called Made with Atlabs, and we were making 2 videos a day. We were spending 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes a night, and posting 2 videos with a logo Made with Atlabs.ai.
Mm-hmm.
And within 14 days, we got 100K views on a new channel, brand new channel on YouTube. Sorry for that. The only thing different this time was there was a Made with Atlabs.ai logo on every video. Some random influencer found us. He made a video about us in January. So in January, we thought we will fine tune our product and release it on 15th Jan. So the first release went on 8th Jan, 8 p.m. On 8th Jan, 11 p.m., I got 4 Slack messages. There are 4 new users. I thought my co-founder was in London. He must be demoing it to someone. I slept. I used to sleep by 11:30, 11:45 during that time. And then I slept. And I woke up to a plethora of messages, new sign-ups, more than 1,000 people signed up. And then it took us 2 days to track down how did we get so many sign-ups. We had to do a lot of things, obviously. It was a staging server, not a production server. So we tracked down after 2 days. Okay, There was this guy who made a video, and that video was shared 50,000 times because the problem was so relatable that everyone wants to make a video, but no one is able to make a video. There were independent tools that you can use, like 11 Labs. You can use Midjourney. You can use a lot of other things. GPT to make a script, and then text to speech to make your audio. You have to bring it all of that together in a video editor like Luma Fusion or a Premiere, whatever people use. It was such a cumbersome process. When even we were doing it, we came from customers to building a product and then selling it. So the problem is so relatable. People want to make video. They want to do social media marketing. So we are helping people doing that, like make a video.
So Gen AI, the time 2024, what do you think, how easy it is to get the product out, or how cheaper it is now to get the product out?
I think these are the golden times to live in. It's very easy to build a product. Like there are IDs like Cursor. I don't know if people know about Cursor. There's a ready help available in your coding platform. Okay, I want to build this. Okay, now I want to add a timeout here. Like today morning I was just doing this. I want to add a timeout here. I didn't know how to do it. It suggested me. I just said, okay, apply. And it started working. Like I have never been so productive in my whole life. Like even when I was like 5-10 years younger, where I had much more energy and much more hunger, I've been productive. People who work with me, they have been like super productive because they are not getting stuck. The major problem with building a tech product was you get stuck, you are debugging something, and then you are spending too much time on it. That time has gotten very, that duration, early could be like 2 hours, 3 hours, maybe it's like days. I know I spent like days figuring out some minor bug, but now it doesn't take, like I don't think I've spent even more than an hour figuring out a bug in the past 1 year because there is a help available all the time. And then while building new stuff also, like if I don't understand something, I'll just say I want to build this. So it gives me a good scaffolding structure. And then I say, okay, explain me this line, explain me this line, explain me this line. Then it forms me in my head, I've formed the mental model it was needed to build that. Earlier, it would have taken me like maybe a couple of days to learn something new. Now it just takes me like a couple of minutes to figure out how the code works. And then I'll ask, okay, write the code for me. I'll ask, explain it to me. And then I'll make tweaks.
Right.
And then if I face a bug, I'll say, okay, now fix it also. So it has gotten, if you know what you want to build, it's very easy to build. Like I've seen examples, people, it has, like GPTs have spit out a whole game in like within one shot.
And that works?
And that works.
Yeah.
And then if you can also, like that works for the first draft. That first draft would have taken you a lot of time. The boilerplate code takes a lot of time. Like you have seen in your, just a small example, like 7 seconds ago, 28 minutes ago, 7 days ago, I simply wrote, time ago and gave it a epoch, what we call time in computer science terms, and it spit out the whole function. Like I didn't have to write it. It would have taken me at least 20-15 minutes to write that function. But it didn't. I just wrote down time ago and it spit out the function for me. So all these basic blocks has gotten easier. All the debugging has gotten very easy. Learning has gotten very easy. So it is you can do 5 times more work of what you could have done it 5 years. At least for me, it is true that I am doing like 5x more work than what I've done in earlier times.
Right. And I think this is totally true that all of us are now like 100x more empowered, I would say, with the technology that we have. Let's say to somebody who lived maybe 50 years back.
50 years is a long time, even like 2 years. If you today tell me, Tushar, you have to go back to 2019, I will happily go back because there is no COVID. But I will say, fuck man, there is no GPT. It will be a totally different world because my life has gotten so much better. Easier. It never gets easier because we as humans tend to make it harder and harder. That's because we want to create things, and that is. But it has gotten much easier to build a tech product.
So if you were to build a tech product today, what would be the 3 generative AI tools that you will use?
Obviously Atlabs for better communication with your team and investors. But jokes apart, I think 3 products that I use a lot is like the first one, I would say I use GPT a lot. Any LLM would work, not just like ChatGPT. I have Mistral installed locally in my system using LM Studio. use some kind of GPT, talk to that GPT for 2 hours, 3 hours every day, figure out how things work in the domain you are trying to work, get better at it. The second product that I use a lot is Cursor. Cursor is a modern day IDE which has like kind of an LLM built in, which helps you with coding a lot. Like it has changed the game a lot for me. Like there was GitHub Copilot earlier that I was using. Now today I am using Cursor, and I think it is a breeze to code these days. It is much more fun because all the non-fun part, all the struggle part has been taken care of by Cursor. And the third product which I use a lot, which is Grammarly. I don't know why I still use it. I still pay for it because it is still great when it comes to grammar. Even though I've been paying for it for the past 3 years, but my grammar, my whole sentence structures and the communication has got so much better just by using it. Like, it tells me, okay, these are the mistakes you're making. So like with time, you are also getting trained. Okay, I make these mistakes. The OG intelligence is getting trained as well from AI. Okay, you don't need to make these mistakes. So I would recommend these 3 things because I think good communication matters a lot.
सर आप तो टेक के आदमी हो, मेरे जैसा नॉन टेकी जिसको तो आई थिंक कर्सर जैसे टूल का नाम भी नहीं पता है, क्या पीपल लाइक मी कैन बिल्ड समथिंग ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट और एन MVP ताकि हम जाकर लॉन्च कर सके और टेस्ट कर सके अपने आइडिया को?
I think you can do it. It's like how, if you have faith in yourself, you can do it in 2 months. I did an experiment last year. My cousin wanted to learn how to do web development. So I called him in the same WeWork last year for like 45 days. And I just gave him कि यार you have to build this. ये रहा GPT, ये तेरे पास लैपटॉप है तो बना. I taught him nothing. वो GPT से बात कर करके उसने वो वेबसाइट बनाई. ठीक है? Like I think I must have helped him for just like a couple of hours in the whole 45 days because he was stuck at some different problems. But I think if you have enough motivation, you can use GPT and not even Cursor, normal ID you can also use. Cursor is just on development on steroids, I would say. You can build anything out. No code. And the other option is you can use no code platform depending on how complex your things are. Like obviously if you have exhausted no code platform, only then come to this path. Like if something can be built using a no code platform, use it. Don't start learning how to code, and because that's a waste of your time. If something can be built, an MVP can be built with a no code platform, and you can run your business with you can run your business to a very good scale without actually building something, then do that, get capital, and then you can hire someone to build it out. Because your primary job is not to actually code as a founder. Your primary job is to deliver value, and there can be multiple ways. If your MVP is very complex, it has to involve coding. Then you learn coding, and I don't think it will take you more than 2 months to build out any prototype. If you are building an iOS app or an Android app, if you know zero coding, I'm saying, then also you can build, I think, a prototype in 2 months. You have to be motivated enough, obviously, but you can do it. Because I've done 2 experiments. One of this and the other is going on. The results are yet to come out. There are 2 founders who are trying to learn how to code.
So, Tushar, how do one recognize कि मेरा PMF आ गया है और या फिर it's a sunken cost fallacy छोड़ देना चाहिए?
यार तो PMF ना पंखे की मैल की तरह होता है. आप रोज सोते हुए देखते हो उसको तो दिखता नहीं, और अचानक एक दिन वो इतना इकट्ठा हो जाता है कि आपको लगता है कि हो तो बड़ी मैल आ गई है, PMF आ गया आपका. तो द आइडिया फॉर अस वाज कि यार कुछ बनाया, लोगों को दिखाया, लोगों से फीडबैक आया, ठीक है. किसी ने हमें ये नहीं बोला कि यार ये जस्ट एन एग्जांपल, हमारा ईजियर विद एन एग्जांपल, कि यार ये खराब है. दे थॉट ओके दिस कुड वर्क इन दिस सर्टेन सेटिंग. सो वी केप्ट टॉकिंग टू पीपल, वी केप्ट बिल्डिंग, इटरेटिंग, गेटिंग फीडबैक कि यार क्या चाहिए लोगों को, क्या वैल्यू ऐड करता है. तो वो करते 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 हम वी रीच दैट पॉइंट कि हम लोग वायरल ही हो गए. कितना रिलेटेबल लगा, इतने लोग आ गए उसके अंदर. बट वर्क it was not built over, it was not an overnight thing. We were making videos for the past 4-5 months. दिसंबर में 5 महीने हो गए थे वीडियोस बनाते बनाते. We were building a product for the past 4 months. और रोज़ कुछ ना कुछ बनाते थे, रोज़ लोगों से बात करते थे. तो it's very important if you're building कि यार you talk to people every day and you are talking to the right people who can give you right feedback. तो वो किया हमने, एंड वो इटरेशन से, यूज़र फीडबैक से हमें समझ में आएगी क्या बनाना है. और द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है हम अपना प्रोडक्ट रोज यूज़ करते हैं. वी वांट टू मेक वीडियोस. अभी भी कोई आता है ना कि यार कस्टमर आने वाला है, there's this enterprise call that you take. We first make a video ourselves for them. क्या उनके लिए वीडियो बना के देखते हैं अपने हिसाब से, एंड वो वीडियो भेज देते हैं क्या दिस वाज मेड विद एटलैब्स. तो जब इनिशियली स्टार्ट हुआ, लोगों ने बोला कि यार एटलैब्स की तुम्हारी जो वीडियो है एटलैब्स की नहीं बनी हुई, तुम तो वीडियो कंपनी हो, तुम्हारी वीडियो एटलैब्स से बनी होनी चाहिए. तब पॉसिबल नहीं था. पॉसिबल है तो अब जो हमारा एटलैब्स का डेमो है जो भेजते हैं वो एटलैब्स ही बना हुआ है. तो लोगों से बात करो, फिगर आउट करो कि यार जिसके लिए प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर रहे हो क्या वो सही जना है भी या नहीं. सही जना से कि यार ठीक है उसकी प्रॉब्लम है, पेन पॉइंट है, बट वो क्या तुम्हें पैसे दे पाएगा कि नहीं. इट्स अ बिग इनफ पेन पॉइंट फॉर देम टू गिव यू मनी और नॉट. तो यू हैव टू फिगर आउट कि यार पीएमएफ में सिर्फ ये नहीं है ना कि प्रोडक्ट नहीं है ना, मार्केट भी है. प्रोडक्ट बना लिया तुमने बहुत बढ़िया, बट कोई पैसे नहीं पे करता उसके, विच इज ऑल्सो नॉट राइट. यू नो फिगर आउट कि यार आई एम बिल्डिंग समथिंग विच विल एड इनफ वैल्यू इन समवंस लाइफ कि मुझे पैसे दे देगा. तो अगर आपने ये फिगर आउट कर लिया और ये लोगों से बात करके ही होगा. लाइक वी हैव टॉक टू स्मॉल बिजनेस से लेके एंटरप्राइजेस तक, लाइक मल्टी बिलियन डॉलर मीडिया हाउसेस तक. वी हैव टॉक टू अ publicly listed company as well in India, like one of the Nifty 50 companies. But the point is कि you have to talk to people to understand कि मार्केट क्या कह रही है. प्रोडक्ट तो तुम बना ही रहे हो, प्रोडक्ट तुम बना रहे हो, मार्केट तुम्हें बताएगी किसके मैं पैसे दूंगी. And there is no greater truth than what the market tells you.
Interesting. And I think the core message
would be यार लोगों से बात करो, पेन पॉइंट फिगर आउट करो क्या है, और इट शुड बी इनफ बिग इनफ पेन पॉइंट. उसके अंदर भी दो ब्रांचेस है कि ईजियर थिंग टू डू इज कि यार लोग ऑलरेडी कुछ कर रहे हैं, तुमने उसका बेटर तरीका बना दिया. यू मेड अ समथिंग ईजियर, फास्टर और चीपर. दी अदर इज कैटेगरी क्रिएशन विच इज मच हार्डर. जैसे हम दोनों बीच में लाई करते हैं. लाइक वी आर ऑल्सो रीचिंग पीपल, SMBs and mid-market companies which don't make videos but they want to make videos, but now they are able to make videos because it's very cheap and fast and fun. तीनों चीज़ें हैं. And we are also reaching mid-market enterprises जिनका यार पैसा, अब रात को 4 बजे मार्केटिंग आइडिया है, कुछ हो गया टॉपिकल, मुझे वीडियो बना के डालनी है. मैं नहीं बना सकता अभी ऑन ब्रांड गाइडलाइंस, बट अब बना सकता हूँ 2 मिनट के अंदर. सो यू डिपेंडिंग अपॉन विच काइंड ऑफ कस्टमर्स यू आर सर्विंग, उस हिसाब से आपका प्रोडक्ट होगा.
तो how is investment market in Gen AI right now?
यार तो मार्केट, मोस्ट ऑफ द इन्वेस्टर्स आर स्टिल मेकिंग देयर थीसिस कि यार क्या चीज़ चलेगी क्या चीज़ नहीं चलेगी. तो इफ़ यू आर बिल्डिंग समथिंग ऑन द एप्लीकेशन लेयर, इट इज टफ टू रेज मनी राइट नाउ, एंड इट ऑब्वियसली इट्स ऑल्सो देयर सम बाइस इन इट कि, बट इफ यू आर बिल्डिंग सम फाउंडेशन मॉडल्स and if you are building a unique foundation model, so it's easier to get funded because that's like selling picks and shovels in the mad gold rush. But building an application is actually going out and
digging for gold.
So the market is not that great for like Gen AI, but if you can show two things, if you can show a lot of growth and traction, that, or you can show that you have built something, you have built a great foundation model, then I think it's easy to raise.
Concluding this conversation, sir, how do one chooses a idea or the idea space?
You have to figure out कि what you are naturally drawn towards. क्या आपको naturally अच्छा लगता है करना, किस पे time spend करना अच्छा लगता है. Because whatever idea you choose, you are going to spend very long hours and time on that idea, maybe like 10 years of your life. And you will be, what you care for makes you suffer. So you want to work on an idea that you deeply care for. Like for me, it is storytelling. I deeply care for storytelling and I suffer for it almost every week, every day. Okay, this is not working. So you have to figure out what you are naturally drawn towards, because there will be bad days. There will be your, worst days. There's this Olympic saying where Olympic coach saying that, there's a rule of 1/3. 1/3 days will be very bad. 1/3 days will be okayish. And 1/3 days will be great. So you need to pick an idea which you care about so that you can go through that 2/3 of the time, because not every time will be, every phase won't be a great phase in your journey, and the journey is very long. It will last like minimum like 5 to 10 years. So choose what you care for, what you are naturally drawn towards. Like it could be different for different people, so you need to understand about you also very well. So there's this term called founder product market fit also in the like, because the founder is deeply cared or came from a certain background that he or she deeply cared about something, and they built out a great company. Countless examples, you can just Google it. But choose something that you deeply care for.
Right. And I think for you, the idea came because you were suffering a lot while you were trying to grow your YouTube channel? I think
No, we were not suffering. We just loved storytelling. I was naturally drawn towards storytelling.
right.
So I started doing a YouTube channel, and then it was just way too much pain to create. I have a 1 minute story I want to tell. I don't want to spend 2 days creating a video for it. So the pain was the 2 days. The fun was the 1 minute story that I want to put across.
Right.
So that was how the idea was born. Let's reduce that pain. And then you have to suffer in the future to figure out, okay, you are building a company, you have like so many problems going on. You have to suffer in like those things, not like exactly what you're trying to do. That's a fun and joy part, which gives you energy and momentum.
And I think that also gives you strength to endure the bad times,
Yeah,
I think.
That's why you choose, like you have to pick the right idea, right idea space at least.
Thank you so much for coming here, sir.
Thanks for inviting me here. This is also my first podcast. It's out of my comfort zone, and that's what I want to do.
Thank you.
Future, much more in life.
Thank you, sir.